Hello, I'm Sue Kerns, and in addition to the roles noted on this slide, I'm a clinical psychologist. I have delivered and researched evidence-based parenting interventions throughout my career and have directly seen the benefits of these programs in supporting all different types of parents to raise healthy and thriving children. We designed a study to develop methods that could help answer the question, to what extent is the research that contributes to parenting interventions being evidence-based informed by racial equity methods? Evidence-based parenting interventions are part of the Kempe Center's vision of a world without child maltreatment. They can provide community support and reduce instances of maltreatment. However, a common concern is that these programs may not fit in context. Ensuring that programs are scaled with attention to context is multifaceted. We know that the way policy initiatives are designed and the implementation guidance provided support the scaling of parenting interventions. And researchers play a critical role in answering the question, is this program for my community? The first challenge we faced was how to conceptualize racial equity within research. We chose to lean into the culturally responsive evaluation model because this thoughtful model provides critical guidance for how to have meaningful, well-specified aspects of racial equity across all stages of research. The CREA model helped ensure we were considering the total range of options where racial equity components may show up. One of the most influential pieces of legislation that is supporting the widespread adoption of evidence-based parenting interventions is the Family First Prevention Services Act. The Title IV-E Prevention Services Clearinghouse determines what programs are eligible for funding. We chose to use this clearinghouse to identify research studies because of this direct impact. Though the clearinghouse reviews a lot of different types of programs, we focused on parenting interventions for the reasons previously described. I'll also note that this study contributed to a special issue honoring Ron Prinz and Tom Olendick. Ron was my dissertation chair. As best practice, we included a positionality statement in our paper to be clear about the perspectives we hold. Here's our research team. In addition to those pictured from Kempe, Sam Maddox and his student Leslie Henry joined from Clayton State, and Chandrisa Smith offered perspectives as a clinical director. Chandrisa, Sam, and I all studied with Ron, so we were excited to get the band back together for this project. Our first step of the project was to develop a coding manual. This ensured we had a common understanding for each of the codes we were looking for in the studies we reviewed. Each of the papers we included were double-coded. We developed a Qualtrics-based questionnaire to systematize the coding across the team. Rachel helped create a way for us to identify when we had discrepant codes. So when we had discrepant codes, we had to talk it out. We worked with a consensus process to ensure we reached 100% agreement. We had one tricky code that we struggled to rectify and ultimately dropped. The CREA codes were US-centric, and some of the strategies were not easily relatable for studies outside of the US. We coded 47 different papers that contributed to the evidence base of 10 parenting interventions that were listed on the Clearinghouse. The studies we found relatively more frequently included things like having research questions directly related to racial equity, had representative recruitment strategies, assessed the psychometrics for the specific study sample, provided information about race, ethnicity, and SES for program participants, and had at least one conclusion that was considered DEI. We also found a relatively high use of an iatrogenic strategy of lumping other together for less common racial and ethnic groups. Other things that were barely or not at all observed included things like integrating parents or youth in the study conceptualization and execution, attending to differential attrition, considering intersectionality of identity, and disaggregating results. Over time, there were more substantial improvements in reporting and avoiding lumping groups into other. However, these are relatively easier things to do, and there was not much improvement in the more substantive components of culturally responsive evaluation. Information about racial equity in research helps with confidence for deciding what works for whom, and as such, what kinds of interventions to advocate for. Incorporating CREA may increase confidence in research for those who have historically been less involved in research or even harmed. Rigorous research adheres to scientific methods while minimizing bias and ensuring the reliability and validity of results, allowing for confident interpretations and trustworthy conclusions. It's clear that attending to racial equity in research does not compromise, but enhances rigor. We call on researchers to consider racial equity-informed methods when conducting their studies. This will enhance the applicability of research for all and contribute to an ability to support our communities and families to thrive. Thank you. This publication and coding manual is available in the public domain, and please reach out. Our team hopes that we can continue to refine our methods, and we look forward to hearing from you.